Do you see this? This coffee stein? This is my kind of coffee cup right here. Speaking of coffee, I don't know. I'm Logan. Welcome back to the Rise and Vape Show. Oh, man. You know when that, like, first sip of coffee hits you in the morning? It's just a thing of beauty. What's up, everybody? It's Sunday. I apologize. I'll try to never sing for you guys again. But yeah, it's Sunday, finally. What a long week this has been. My gosh. I've been looking forward to today all week. This is my favorite part of the week. You know, when we sit down, I just shoot video for a few hours, and the house is quiet, and, you know, we try new liquids, and we talk about all sorts of stuff, and this is my favorite day. This is my favorite day of the week, because I just get to spend it with you guys. I apologize if I'm a little nasally today. I've been battling like a minor head cold all week. It's nothing serious, I promise. It's just been like some like mild headaches and congestion, and it was worse earlier on in the week, which is the reason why I didn't have any reviews go up this week. I was not feeling very good, and you didn't want to hear or see that during a review. So I will have reviews coming up this week. Got some stuff ordered, kind of some of my other devices I have like 5 or 6 things sitting on my desk in there, just waiting to be reviewed right now. Some older stuff, and I've got a new thing coming, so we'll have more reviews soon. This past week, just know I wasn't up to it. But yeah, either way, I don't have the same buffet for you guys that I had last week. I guess, you know, tried and true. We might have something coming soon that's going to replace the Nexus, possibly. I don't know. I'm a big fan. I've got some, the last bit of this Humble Salt going on in there. Watermelon patch. You guys have seen before on here. I'm a big fan. And but I've got their strawberry patch coming soon, which I'm really excited to try. So if you're a fan of Humble, let me know, because so far I am too. At least their salts. I haven't tried any of Humble's free bases yet, but I like the fact that they offer 20 milligram salts, which is why I went with them, and not been disappointed. Next, yeah, still rocking this little setup. Still annoyed. Still, I think this is the same setup. This is 1.8 coil in here. It's getting a little rough, that coil. But you know what? It's still vaping. It's still vaping real nice. I got it loaded up with some salted caramel macchiato. And it's just, you know what? Focus. Thank you. Let's have a little coffee pairing. I've never done a coffee pairing before. Cool. It was like I got all the salted caramel macchiato, and then it was just washed away by the coffee. So, coffee pairing? Anybody? And still, this setup. I really dig this setup. Mainly because it fits. I really need to get another 22 millimeter RDA for on top of here. I've been thinking about maybe the Hermetic. I really like single coils. I'm not a big fan of bottom airflow, and that's my issue here. I really want to give Matt's Hermetic a go, but I feel like I overdrip a lot already, and that's just going to be a no bueno situation for me. But I've got it loaded up with the last bit of this Big Berry from Charlie's Chalk Dust. It's a 3 milligram freebase that I've been vaping on. I've learned 2 things since I started vaping this juice. 1, this is delicious. It's a blueberry watermelon. Absolutely phenomenal. And 2, I'm not ready for 3 milligram yet. I have destroyed this 60 ml bottle in like 3 days. Let's have a vape. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Charlie's. I really like their Pocket Mama line. And just Charlie's Chalk Dust, man. It's just good. All of it's just really good. It's too good for me to have in a 3 milligram. I'll just destroy it. But that's really all I've been vaping on this week. Shortly after last week's video, maybe Monday or Tuesday, I kind of did that thing where I just went through and I was like, okay, what do I really want to vape? And I think that was when I got that bottle of Charlie's. I was like, what do I want to set up? And what do I actively want to vape on this week? And everything else I just kind of tore down. That's it. That's all I've got this week. It's been a pretty boring week. Well, no, not boring, because that Charlie's Chalk Dust has been amazing. As far as variety goes, yeah, it's definitely been a boring, I guess, kind of week, but you know what? That's okay too. You know, there's plenty of people that rock one setup months on end, and that's it. That's all they vape. That's it. Just my one mod, my one atomizer, and my one liquid, and that's all I vape. And that's what keeps me off of cigarettes, and that's what's important. So there's plenty of people like that, and cheers to them, you know? Like, if that works, if that's your liquid, that's your setup, and that's what keeps you off of smokes, stick with it. There's nothing wrong with it. Me, I believe that variety is the spice of life, and so I try to mix it up and try new things and try new products and put this on here and this on there and what's this juice like at a low wattage and what's it like at a higher watt, and I just try all these different things because I like to, you know, I like to fiddle with things and try different setups, just, I don't know, for the sheer purpose of exploration and exploration, yes, we're going on a vape adventure. I don't know. Either way, I can tell you that as a gamer, I've been pretty hooked on Apex Legends this week. If you're on Xbox, feel free to add me. My gamer tag is Earth to Logan. If anybody out there games, I game. I've been gaming for well over 20 years. If there's any hobby that will stay with me for the rest of my life, it'll most likely be gaming and vaping. So I guess hobbies, I should say. It has been a busy week, though. My oldest just turned 9, which is really exciting. She's a Valentine's Day baby. Happy late Valentine's Hallmark Day to everybody out there. Me and my girlfriend express our love for each other every day of the year. And so Valentine's Day, for us in this house, is very much, you know, for my oldest and for my, well, both my kids. You know, it's not like my youngest just gets left out of Valentine's Day. But it's my oldest daughter's birthday. So there's definitely a big focus on that and not so much on Valentine's Day itself. You know, my youngest, we do Valentine's Day with her at home. She gets her Valentine's, her chocolates and stuff like that. Both the kids do all the whole Valentine's Day thing at school, which I think for kids is probably the more important or more relevant side of Valentine's Day. You know, they make all their friends Valentines, and they give them around in school, and they give each other Valentines, and I think that's more important than the Valentine's Day at home for kids. Obviously, unless you're my daughter whose birthday is Valentine's Day. You know, we did the presents and the birthday party and had family over and things like that, and we were like, yep, that's it. That's all you get. So we kind of led her on to believe that was it. And then yesterday, Saturday, rolled around, and the whole family went with the kids to go see the new Lego movie. We took her to go see that. And then we took the kids to Chuck E. Cheese's after that. And I don't know if any parents out there have ever been to Chuck E. Cheese. And if you have, God bless you. That is a madhouse. I remember being a kid and loving Chuck E. Cheese. Now that I'm an adult, I'm like, here's your tokens. Go play your games. I'm going to sit over here and just try to drown out this craziness. Someone bring me a pizza. Just bring me a pizza and a 2-liter of soda so I can just eat my anxiety away. I do crowds, okay? Love going to shows, you know, music. That kind of crowd is fine for me. An ocean of kids, though, that's a whole different story. But yeah, you know, that was our week. It was a little crazy and a little hectic, but all things aside, she had a great time. I think this week's news and advocacy is going to kind of tie into that a little bit, just the parenting thing and dealing with vaping, and it's something that, you know, we're definitely not dealing with in this house as far as my kids go, but my kids are both young, so I don't know what the future is going to hold. I know that we have already talked to our kids about why, you know, me and mom vape, why we quit smoking, the dangers of smoking, and also the dangers of vaping. But we've also talked about how much safer it is for me and mommy to vape since we were smokers. And we've kind of tried to explain that balance, I think. I don't know if balance is the right word. Sure. And just letting the kids know, you know, why we do it, that it's not for kids, and that, you know, this is a serious thing, and it's about adult health and helping other adults. They don't really fully understand it, but my little one will be like, Are you helping people? Are people quitting smoking? And, like, you know, she's happy that we're trying to help other adults as well, which is really cute and really fun. And I'm hoping that those ideals stick with them, whether that's, you know, them growing up and advocating for tobacco harm reduction. Hopefully by then we're way past what we're dealing with now. But I hope that that idea of wanting to help, of trying to do the right thing to help others, I hope that ideal itself is what sticks. I hope that they see, you know, me and their mom helping and trying to help and advocating to help other people. And I hope that mentality sticks. I really do. You know, I really hope it sticks. As a parent, that's what you want. I think, you know, you want to raise kids that have a good moral foundation. And so that's what we try to do around here. You know, we try to instill respect and honesty and those virtues into our kids. And I think most parents try to do the same. But at the end of the day, it's a crapshoot, right? You're like, well, I'm going to give you all the tools and resources. You're a human being, and you're going to make your own choices as you grow up, and you're going to learn your own way as you grow up. And I just have to try to teach you the right things and keep you alive in the meantime. That's basically the baseline of what parenting is. Try to teach them the right stuff, keep them alive. But big shout out to all the parents out there who, you know, picked up vaping and quit smoking for their kids and for their families. Big shout out to you guys, because I'm right there with you. So, I guess without further ado, because honestly, we all know that the Rise and Vape show wouldn't be the same if we didn't get Becky in here and we didn't do a liquid tasting this week. So let's just do it. I won't keep you guys any longer. Let's just do it. All right, sit down. Today, Becky, everybody,
hi,
is Nitro's cold brew coffee vanilla bean. Talked a while ago about how I've been on the hunt for
we both have
a good coffee vape. We're gonna try this one. We were alluded to the fact that it does have some form of like cooling to it when we bought it. I'm assuming it's a culotta, freshly wicked, ready to go. The drop sitting on the Aegis. These are some of those Twisted Timmy's frame stag staples from last week that you guys saw.
fresh.
What?
Don't play with me. Don't toy with my emotions.
I'm still like, I've only got one good nostril right now, so.
Okay, all right.
I'm just gonna shove it up that one nostril. Okay. It's definitely, there's a culotta in there.
Okay.
But it's definitely a.
Yeah.
Do the old knucka test.
Okay. That tastes like straight up coffee with vanilla creamer.
I mean, it is a vanilla bean cold brew
That's
coffee.
what I'm very excited for this. Because as of right now, it's meeting my expectations. Just on the knuckle test and the
Sometimes
sniff test.
Sometimes the knuckle test is a little deceiving.
It can
Have you ever
be.
had a
That's
deceiving knuckle test?
why I'm keeping it cool. I'm trying to keep it cool.
Sometimes you don't. Some of those flavors and whatnot don't come out until
They don't translate.
Yeah, they don't come out until
very
there's
well.
heat applied. We're gonna go up a little more. Ooh, too much. Calm it down, Aegis. 72 looks good. 72 watts. This is a 0.1 build. There you go.
Become a Patreon.
Don't. No.
Help us afford a new camera. Just kidding. I'm so jealous that you get the first try.
There's a lot more culotta in that than I expected.
It's like iced coffee.
It almost actually, that almost might be a menthol.
I honestly don't mind it. I don't mind menthol, though.
I get the vanilla, though. I definitely get the vanilla in the coffee. But they're on the exhale, and it's kind of like a backdrop note.
Yeah.
Like, the main thing that you experience out of that is that culotta, or that.
On the inhale, to me.
Yeah, I even get it on the beginning of the exhale. Like,
I gotta do this
all
again.
the coffee and all the vanilla comes through kind of as the aftertaste. Well, you want to spend some time with it?
I'll spend a little time with it.
Alright, well.
Alright. But yeah, after last week's kind of like fail, this is a nice change. And I personally haven't had good experience with coffee vapes, but this one,
Yeah, I mean, I've got
enjoying.
This is the closest to a coffee vape that I'm rocking right now, is that salted caramel macchiato. But that's really, you get just kind of a blunt salted caramel out of it, really, with like a little bit of cream. It's not as much like a coffee vape, that one.
I'm not a huge caramel vape fan.
See, I like it in something small like this, like a mouth-along.
I will confirm that this is going in my squonk bottle after I'm done with this Country Clouds.
Okay. It's already made it into the squonk bottle. I just want to make sure it's good and wet. The vanilla and the coffee in that is really nice. I would really like to try just a Nitro's vanilla bean coffee without the culotta.
Well, it does say cold brew coffee.
Yeah, I'm assuming I'm gonna have to look it up to see if they have another line that isn't like cold brew. If they have just a basic, this basic vanilla bean coffee, because that I would personally
I enjoy the cooling.
I would really like that. I like fruit and menthol, but menthol with a lot of things, or that culotta with a lot of things, doesn't rust well with me. There's only certain times that I like it with fruit, mainly with fruit.
I'm excited to get to the ratings on this. I'm curious to know what you think.
See, that's that culotta on me sometimes. It doesn't settle. For me, I'm gonna give it a 2. I just think there's way too much of that cooling, that culotta, or that light menthol that's in there. I think it's too in your face, it's too much, and it drowns out too much of that vanilla in the coffee for me, which is what I'm searching for it in the aftertaste, you know, and I feel like I shouldn't be looking for it that hard. So again, it comes down to a balance thing with this juice for me. If they had gone a lot lighter on that culotta in there and way heavier on the vanilla bean, I would have really liked it then. I
am going to give this a solid 4.5. I really enjoy the cooling.
Hey, cool.
I am extremely pleased with this. Oh. Laundry, sorry.
It is an 80-20. This is the 6 milligram. Their social, if you're curious about, Instagram is Nitro's Cold Brew.
I will be checking them out on Instagram.
I think I will be too. There it is. Kind of. Close enough. You guys get the idea. Yeah, I'm definitely going to check them out. I'm really interested to see if they have, and I hope they do have one that just doesn't have any of that Coolada in it, or the menthol, or whatever it is, and it's just straight vanilla bean coffee, because the hints of that I get is, and it also, I'm still kind of at the tail end of being sick, so
yeah, that's true.
I think that maybe my taste buds are just really picking up more of that cool, that iced cold brew effect than the vanilla bean, but I'll revisit this juice, I think. You know, if you don't kill it in the next couple of days, once my nose clears up a little more, I'll revisit that juice and maybe give you guys an update. But as it stands, I got a 2. She's got a 4.5. So if you like coffee vapes, if you like vanilla coffee vapes, I'll tell you, the vanilla coffee that I get out of this is awesome.
Yeah. It's great.
If you don't like menthol, if you don't like Coolada, that cooling effect,
it might not be for you.
This is probably not going to be for you. Yeah.
If you enjoy it, like me.
If you like it and you like coffee too, then
you'll love it.
Yeah, great juice. So, one more time for you. That is Nitro's Cold Brew Coffee Vanilla Bean.
Yes. One more for the road.
One more for the road. Yeah, that coffee and vanilla in there is really good. Nitro, I'm going to be hitting you guys up about some non-cold brew. Either way, that was our liquid tasting for the week. Thanks for hanging around with us while we tried some liquid. I'm Logan.
I'm Becky.
See you next week. All right. So, you know, I guess that coffee vape just wasn't for me. I'm still on the hunt. I'm telling you, Nitro, I really like the vanilla coffee that I get out of that. So I'm hoping that I can find a non-cold brew version. Because that I'm looking forward to. Because I love coffee. Who doesn't love coffee? Well, I guess not everybody loves coffee. But I do. With all that said, I think we're going to move on to some news and advocacy. So, today, what I wanted to talk about kind of translates back into earlier, talking about being a parent and dealing, being a vapor and a parent and explaining that balance and trying to get your kids to understand what it's all about. I'm lucky, I guess, as it stands right now, because both of my kids are young, so I don't have teenagers, out juuling or whatever it is they call it now. I can't keep up with kids these days, man, and their lingo. I'm not hip to any of that. Our Surgeon General tweeted this article out the other day from the New York Times. It's called How to Talk with Teenagers About Vaping. I decided to give it a read. There's a lot of the, science in here that I disagree with, which I assumed I would anyway. But I'm not going to get into that. There's a lot of this article, though, that I wholeheartedly do agree with. And I think it's a great approach to talking to teenagers about vaping, especially if they're your kids, and maybe some of this will help. I'm definitely going to have the link to this whole article down in the description, so please feel free to give the whole thing a read. Again, I agree with the approach to a lot of this, but I don't agree with everything in here. But I'll explain a few of the key points that I really do agree with and I really enjoyed. Part of this article in the Get There Perspective, section, says finding out what adolescents, Jesus, Logan, adolescents, all these goddamn adolescents running around juuling. Finding out what adolescents already know and think about vaping, or any other hazardous behavior, does two things at once. First, it shapes how the rest of the exchange might go. If your teenager wrinkles their nose and says, "I tried it and thought it was weird," you're having one conversation. If they respond slyly, "Lots of kids are doing it. I don't see what's the big deal," you're having another. Second, Asking teenagers what they know about any topic increases the odds that they'll want to hear what we know about that topic too. To get our teenagers to take our concerns about vaping or anything else seriously, we should start by recognizing that they may have already drawn upon first-hand observation or personal experience to arrive at their own conclusions. So yeah, exactly. Like with anything else, you want to kind of handle the way that you approach something with care, especially with kids and the way that we talk to kids or teenagers, especially. I know, drawing on my experience as a teenager, how I was spoken to by my parents or, by authority really kind of dictated the way that I was going to respond back. I think that whole, as a teenager, respect me and I'll respect you. You're kind of in the midst of growing up and you want respect. You want to be treated with respect, but you're still a kid. I think a lot of that comes into play with teenagers, especially. So trying to find that way to approach that conversation, to have a truthful and honest and open conversation with your teenagers, I think that's great. Basically, the entire bottom part of this article is something that I wholeheartedly agree with here. And it's titled, "Concede the Limits of Your Power." And I think a lot of times as parents, we also forget that our kids are human beings with their own experiences and their own way of learning and their own choices that they're going to make through life, that those choices, good or bad, are going to dictate how they turn out in the end and what experiences they have to draw from themselves. If you keep your kids in a bubble their whole lives, they're never going to gain that real world experience that they need to be productive adults out in the real world. So I think this part kind of relates to that, and this right here is my favorite part of this entire article. And it's "Concede the Limits of Your Power." It's a little bit long. Bear with me. Again, feel free to fast forward through this if you want to. I'm just going to read it out to you guys, and then feel free to go read this whole article yourselves. "Parenting teenagers would be a lot less stressful if we could lay down the law and leave it at that. But adopting a thou shall not stance overestimates the adult's control and underestimates the teenager's autonomy. It can also inspire teenagers to abuse their independence to make a point." I think that's fair. I think a lot of teenagers challenge their parents and they challenge authority for simply doing it to make a point about how independent they are and what they believe they can do. To stay out of a fruitless, if not counterproductive, cat and mouse game, it's often useful for parents to take a two-pronged approach, articulating high expectations in one breath and acknowledging the limits of their power in the next. And I quote, "Vaping isn't harmless," one might say, "so I hope you will steer clear of it. That said, I don't have the power to make this choice for you. It's something you'll have to decide for yourself. Parents who feel inclined to make rules about e-cigarettes could add, if we find out you're using them, there will be repercussions. We serve our teenagers best when we remind them that all choices come with consequences, absolutely. Just as we parent most effectively when we remember that our teenagers will also always have choices." Also true. "It's not easy to engage our teenagers about the dangers they face, but adolescents care what their parents think and take fewer risks when we keep the lines of communication open. In discussing dicey choices with adolescents, there are many ways to get it right, and one of those ways is to be sure that we are talking with, not at, them." And I think all of that is just 100% true, and you can take that into account with so many other things outside of vaping. Being able to sit down with your teenagers, if somebody had sat down and had that conversation with me about smoking years ago, as opposed to just either ignoring it or telling me that I shouldn't do it and that I was stupid, or all of those really, just condescending kind of conversations, I think that a lot of parents and a lot of authoritative figures just throw at kids, just because they're kids. You're insignificant, listen to me, this is how it is. But especially when you get up into those teenage years, they're going to challenge you. They're going to want to challenge you. That's just part of life. That's part of growing up, is challenging authority, learning where you stand in the world. And you want to have those conversations with your parents, but you don't want to necessarily be told what to do and what not to do. So I think this right here is just a really great all-around, roundabout way to speak to teenagers about it. I really like this part where it says vaping isn't harmless, so I hope you will steer clear of it. That said, I don't have the power to make this choice for you. It's something you'll decide for yourself. Letting kids know that you're concerned, that whatever you're doing is not okay, but that it's ultimately you that has to make that choice, and that you hope they make the right choice. I think that's a great way to approach that situation. I think that's a great way to talk to just about anybody, acknowledging that you're still speaking to a human being that is going to make its own choices. Their own choices. I don't think I should refer to humans as its. I think it's just a really open-minded, realistic way to have that conversation. So this is what I wanted to share this week, with my oldest having her birthday and she's growing up. These are things that I think about, and so articles like this really intrigue me, and I hope that maybe this article helps other parents out there as well, who may have concerns, or parents like me that vape and have kids, and your future concerns are that they'll pick it up as well just because you do it. I think this is a good way to start, and I think this is a great article about it. So there's that. Sorry, that was quite the read. Again, there's a lot more to that article. I would encourage any parents out there, any and all parents out there, realistically, to go give it a read. Keep in mind that not all of the science in there is 100% accurate. It's a little misleading. There's more to that than what's in that article, but the approach itself and that open-minded mentality is really well worth the read. And it honestly really surprised me that our Surgeon General tweeted that out. From one parent to another, I think it's a good one. Well, that's gonna do it for today. Yeah, it's good to be back on Sundays. Feels good. Feels real good. Love Sundays. And I love hanging out with you guys. So if you want to check the show out on Instagram, it's instagram.com/Rise and Vape Show. I got it right this time. That's crazy. And as always, get out there, join CASAA, go to your calls to action, write your representatives, get involved. Get involved. I'm Logan. This has been the Rise and Vape Show. Everybody, take care. Keep on vaping. Hit the record button and let it flow.
Turn off the music because we can't afford that.
Copyright infringements.
Yeah.
Yeah.